Well, hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to No Nonsense November, day 9. Today we're going to talk about goals. Goal setting, smart goals, SMART goals, some tips that have helped me over the decades to set and achieve goals that, if I think back now when I was a little girl, I could not even ever have imagined achieving in my life. And I've watched other people use some of these tips and strategies to achieve phenomenal things that people would say, oh, that's impossible, yet they're doing it every single day. So goals, I think if you're listening to me, at some point in your life you've heard of or know how to or have actually set goals. Goal setting is just actually being deciding intentionally what we want in our life and setting a goal or setting our mind on actually achieving and making sure that becomes a reality in our life. And I say it often, whatever you can imagine, whatever you can even come up with, if you have an idea, that means that you have within you the ability to create that in your life, to make that a reality for yourself and for the world. It's anything you can possibly imagine, you can possibly create, do, be, or have. It really is possible, but you have to believe that it is. That's a topic for another day. Let's talk about goal setting specifically, and how do you set goals? Some of the things I like to remind people, the tips and things about setting goals are, for one, you want to align them with your values. What are goals? Let's talk about what are goals. Goals are just statements of what you want in your future life. And you want to make sure that they align with your core values. They align with what you are, who you want to become, and what you really believe in. Now, remember, we can change our beliefs. We can change what we want to become over time. But I always like to have great, big, giant, think big goals. What, if anything were possible, do I want to achieve in my life? And I have lifelong goals. And from those lifelong goals, then I break them down into smaller and smaller time frames so that I know that I will actually have a chance of achieving them. If I have a great, big, giant goal, say to impact 1 million people, I'm not going to probably impact 1 million people the first time I get that idea and I want to do that. I'm going to break that down to smaller and smaller segments, what I need to do today, all the way down to what I need to do today in order to be moving toward that goal or objective. So I want them to align with my values. I want them to align with, because our core values, believe it or not, what's really important to us at our core tends to be the same throughout the majority of our life. I want to think big. I want to think bigger than I possibly think I could ever achieve in my life, because then I'm really shooting for the moon and going after the things that I'm capable. Otherwise, we all limit ourselves and we think really, really small and we play small. We also want to make our goals about things that we can control. Remember my kids, everybody, all of us fall in love with this one person. We think that they're going to be the love of our life, and we fixate on that person and we want that person. But here's the rub. We can't have that specific person be our goal. We can describe all of the attributes and the traits we would like to have in our ideal, mate or partner, but we can't make that be a specific person, because guess what? That specific person might not fall in love with you back. And then you can't control that. So that's an example of set your goals for something that you can control. Go ahead, describe your perfect ideal mate, but realize it's not going to be that specific Sally or Joe or whoever. It's going to be whoever matches all those characteristics and also wants someone just like you. So make sure you're making goals about things that you can control. And I might be saying in your head, oh, I can't control if I'm a millionaire or not. Well, you absolutely positively can control the steps that you take to become a millionaire. So that's something you can control, but you can't control if, Tony is going to be the love of your life forever. It just doesn't work that way. Give yourself time. Realize that the majority of people underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years, but they totally overestimate what they can achieve in the short term, a year or less. It's just human nature. We think we can do these grandiose things in under a year, yet we totally underestimate what we're capable of in a 5 or 10 year period. So give yourself time to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Plan for success and minimize your risks. You want to assume and intend to succeed and know that in your heart and mind, you're going to achieve that goal. You might not achieve it exactly on the date that you want to achieve it by. But if you keep at it and you don't quit, you absolutely positively can and will achieve anything that you want. And that includes our goals. Goals should be stated in the positive. They should be precise. You need to prioritize them. You need to write them down. Everybody will argue about this, but I learned this from my dad when I was a teenager. And he was meticulous about writing things down and writing his goals. And here's a man that came from very, very humble, poor beginnings and achieved more in his life than anyone else could have possibly imagined for him. And I attribute that to his ability to write down his goals, break them down, plan and organize and work toward them. Remember to set performance versus outcome goals. So, for example, with respect to my health, my goals are to, I can have a goal that I want to be a specific weight, my ideal weight. That would be an outcome goal. Or I can have a goal about, I want to be fit, trim, energized, and active. And although that's subjective, I know that if I perform certain tasks, I will achieve that goal, that end. And people, and we're going to talk about SMART goals in a second, but people have different opinions on this. But I have found I like to set goals for, I'm going to exercise an hour a day. That's a performance goal. And I either did it or I didn't, right? I either exercised this today or I didn't do it. And I can track that and I can graph it and I can see over time. And if I do that, it will give me the outcome that I want, the goal that I want. Health, I want to be fit, trim, energized, and active. I want to be healthy. I want to have the energy that I need to get through my life. So instead of saying I have to, or my goal is to weigh a specific weight, I learned, I don't know, a decade ago or so, that I'm going to focus on my performance, the things I can control, the things I can do that I know will give me the ultimate health that I desire. I hope I explained that okay. So let's talk about SMART goals. And I recently learned from, I can't remember who it's from, about SMART goals, U instead of the R. And everything's pretty much the same in the acronym except for the A or the U. Now, SMART goals should, and it's to help remember what you should include in your goals. So SMART means specific, significant. M means measurable or meaningful. A means achievable, attainable. Now that means, okay, I have to know when I'm writing the goal that I can get it. That kind of goes against my belief. And the U in the SMART acronym is unrealistic, irrational, but unimaginable, but big. It kind of speaks to we can set goals that we know we're going to achieve. And in business, we do that all the time. We have, quotas and goals that we have to meet. Those are objectives to me. Those are performance objectives. Those are not big goals like I'm talking about here in terms of planning out our life. The other thing we want to remember to do, okay, let's finish the acronym. R stands for relevant or rewarding. We want our goals to be relevant or rewarding, right? We want them to be something that we really want, or why would we be going after them? And the other thing they say is set a time limit on your goals. Add some kind of a time frame, make them time bound so that you have a sense of urgency to actually perform and work toward them. Again, I personally have great big life goals. Every year, I sit down, I review my life goals, where I'm at with respect to moving toward or away from them. And I do that, of course, for all the areas and aspects of my life, right? Remember, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I'm going to make sure I'm creating goals. I have a big picture goal for each of those areas of my life and a couple subcategories in each of those areas, because physically there's a whole lot of categories, right? Relationships, there's a whole lot of different type of relationships. So my overarching goals are my big life goals. And I look at those every year. And then off of those, I plan my 1-year plan. What do I need to do this year to move me continually toward those big lifetime goals? Then I break that down into 6-month or quarterly. I do quarterly. So that includes a 6-month review, quarterly reviews, monthly plans, and daily plans. I break weekly plans as well, and then daily plans. I break it down smaller and smaller and smaller so that I know each and every day what I need to be doing to contribute to and move toward those goals. And I prioritize them based on what's most important to me and in my life right now. For example, sometimes my physical well-being has to go from, the middle to the bottom of the list, all the way up to the top. You know, if I'm having challenges or health challenges, that means not paying enough attention to my physical well-being, and it will move up and down based on what results I'm getting in my life right now. We have to always be listening to ourselves and giving ourselves feedback to make sure that we're moving toward what we want and away from what we don't want. So goal setting, I would love to know your experience with goal setting. Do you write your goals down? That's my one biggest question for everybody. Because if you don't, I will challenge you right now, just right now, to write down what do you want to achieve in the next year in the area of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. Just one thing in each of those areas. Even if you just write that down and then put it away and don't look at it for another year, I guarantee you will have made more progress toward those goals just by writing them down than if you don't write them down. You don't have to believe me. Test it out for yourself. I've tested it out on myself. The years where I've actually gone through my entire structure of planning and touching base with and reviewing my goals on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually gets a bigger review, and yearly reviews. Every time I've done that and written it down, I've gotten better results and made massive strides toward what I want than when I've skipped a year or so, or I've skipped a week or a month or something and I've missed those reviews. So I challenge you to actually do it, actually write it down, actually think about and realize that anything you want is within your reach. All right, that's our goal setting little discussion for today. Go out, have an awesome day. Remember, we're getting ready for the December Get Up and Go Challenge. December 1st through 31st, we will do every day a brief lesson about how to deal with challenges and guarantee that you're better off after any change or challenge that results in your life or impacts you than before you experienced that. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow.